everybody. My name is Dante. So Nikki and I went on a mission trip this past November. I had the privilege of meeting Jerome in Mindanao, the southernmost island. Jerome welcomed us international delegates to learn about the human rights crisis in the Philippines, and particularly how our government is funding the human rights violations against Moro indigenous people all across the country. Jerome was set to come here to the United States to speak out against the violence and to inform us further of what we can do to take action. He had every right to be here, and our government continues to take a stance against human rights, against peace and justice with its actions of inhumane treatment. We're going to be performing Rage, a cultural song that exemplifies how we will not stay silent while people are under attack by this fascist government. We will continue to struggle for justice and peace and for Jerome. Children begging in the streets at night, knocking on cars till the morning light. People standing in line for a kilo of rice. Welcome to the dark ages, the era of lies. Dreams of progress, of visions gone mad, and Viola still drenched in innocent blood. Demolition men rumble through smoky mountain homes. Darkness indeed, justice dressed in blue. But I'll go not gently into the night, rage against the dying of light, sing a song about this terrible sight, rage until the lightning strikes. Go not gently, go not gently, go not gently. Rage with me. In the names and faces of the tyrants change, but poverty, pain, and murder remains. The voices of truth are locked up in chains. Darkness remains, freedom in flames. But I'll go not gently into the night, rage against the dying of light, sing a song about this terrible sight, rage until the lightning strikes. Go not gently, go not gently, go not gently in rage with me.
All right, good morning. Thanks for coming out today. We've had a show of people power. My name's Drew. I'm from the International Coalition for Human Rights in the Philippines, U.S. chapter. We launched this past December 2017 here in Portland, Oregon. We launched in 3 months. In 3 months, we gained 40 organizations to our coalition. Do you know why we gained 40 organizations to to our coalition in 3 months? Because there's a people's movement in the Philippines that is irresistible. And we are providing U.S. military aid for human rights violations in the Philippines. We're hosting in a few weeks a caravan from Washington, D.C. that starts today to New York, from Seattle to Los Angeles. It'll hit up Portland May 1 through 5. We've done that after launching in 3 months because there's a people's movement that is spreading. A few moments ago, a couple of us went into the office of the Department of Homeland Security. When we walked in, they said, "Do you have an appointment with ICE?" Do you know what we said? You have an appointment with us. The Department of Homeland Security has an appointment with the people of the Philippines. The Department of Homeland Security is accountable to the people of the Philippines and the people of the U.S. The U.S. can no longer provide our tax dollars to human rights violations in the Philippines. And we can see the repression in the Philippines is also happening here in the United States against the Filipino people. Jerome was in custody, detained for 28 hours. He repeatedly asked for a right of a lawyer, and it was not provided. We continually asked for his release, and it was not provided. He had a visa for 10 years. He had invitations from Catholic bishops from the United Methodist Church, and yet he was not allowed entry. The fascist attacks are heightening. We know under Trump there's continued attacks on immigrants, continued attacks on people of color, continued attacks on the working class, cuts of social services, and we see the same thing in the Philippines. There's cuts of jobs. Duterte is trying to extend his term. There's continued killings, over 20,000 killings in the last year. And so, what can we say of human rights and what can we say of the law when the leaders in government are fascists? What can we say of human rights? There are no human rights. Human rights are not rights for police repression. Human rights are not rights for killings. Human rights are not rights for fascism. Human rights are not rights for the government that's supposed to protect the people to commit injustice. Human rights is the right to resist. Human rights is the right for justice. Human rights is the right for peace. Human rights are the rights to self-determination of the Filipino people. There is only one option for us. We called and they would not release Jerome. We can only continue to resist.
Yes.
This is only the beginning. We are a growing movement. Let us multiply our ranks. Recruit, grow, and organize. Let us bring senators. Let us bring church people. Let us bring the broadcasters to call for justice for Jerome. When human rights are under attack, what do?
Rise up, fight back!
When human rights are under attack,
what do we do?
rise up, fight back! When human rights are under attack, what do?
Rise up, fight back!
Justice for Jerome!
Justice for Jerome! Justice for Jerome! Justice for Jerome!
Resistance is our right, solidarity is our duty.
Resistance is our right, solidarity is our duty.
Just to close this up, sit here a minute. Are you gonna see us again? You're gonna see us again. As one of the worst offenders of human, as one Rights, ICE, Department of Homeland Security, and Immigration Customs and Border Protection, it is inevitable that you'll give us a reason to come back.